You ever notice how a perfect afternoon can go sideways in seconds? One minute you're stretched out by the pool with nothing but your thoughts and a good book for company, and the next, you're the headline in a drama nobody asked for. I never imagined that just sitting quietly in swim trunks, reading Leadership in Crisis, could set off a chain reaction that would leave half a luxury building rethinking everything they believed about power, money, and who really belongs. But that's exactly what happened. I can still feel the sticky warmth of the marble deck under my feet, the sunlight dancing off the water, and that moment, a sharp voice breaking the peace, when everything changed. I'm Devin Carter, grew up in Jersey, put myself through business school, clawed my way up to CEO. At 42, I've got a penthouse at the Orion, a high-rise so pristine even the pigeons seem to have background checks. But today, I didn't look the part. White tee, navy shorts, no bling, no entourage, just a regular man, soaking in a rare day off, grateful for a breeze and the lull of water. I don't usually stand out here, and that's exactly how I like it. Until Karen Pierce decided I was a problem. I saw her coming. Designer dress, stiff blonde hair, clipboard tucked under her arm like a scepter, lips pursed so tight you'd think she was bracing for a hurricane. Behind her, Max, the security guard, big, nervous, always fiddling with his radio, trailed like a shadow, desperate for approval. She didn't bother with small talk, just strode up and started in. This area is for residents only. I've never seen you before. Do you have your member card? The tone, sweet on the surface, but laced with the sort of suspicion that needs no explanation if you've ever lived in my skin. I held up my book, a little lost for words, trying not to show the irritation rising in my chest. I live here, I answered, steady as I could. Max shifted from foot to foot, ready to back up his boss. Ma'am's right. This area is restricted. I'll need to see some ID. Rules are rules. You ever have that sense that the rules only show up for some people? I felt it then. The stares from folks on lounge chairs. The families quieting their kids. The way a hush settles before a storm. Karen's eyes scanned me head to toe, searching for labels, for signs of pedigree. What unit do you say you're from? She pressed, voice sharp as a snap. Top floor, I replied. Been here 3 years. Her mouth twitched. Well, the penthouse has always been owned by the Stanhopes, so forgive me if I'm confused. Max pulled out his phone and started swiping. What's your name, sir? I'm checking the registry. I should have just gotten up and left. Maybe on another day. I would have. But something in me, call it pride, call it bone, deep exhaustion, wouldn't budge. I gave them my name, watched Max squint at the screen. No pool reservation under Carter today. I laughed. Couldn't help myself. Pool reservation? Since when? Karen arched her eyebrow. Triumph flickering. New policy. Since last month. All usage must be booked through the app. It's posted in the lobby, if you actually look. So now, apparently, you can live somewhere, pay fees that would make a Wall Street shark sweat, but need an appointment to sit by your own pool. I bit my tongue. Nobody said anything to the dozen folks swimming here already. Did you check their IDs? Karen bristled, looking around. They're regulars, long-time residents. We know who belongs. Max's grip tightened on his radio. If you refuse to comply, I'll need to ask you to leave. Or call for backup. I felt my fingers tighten on the spine of my book, felt every eye on the deck. The whispers behind sunglasses and beach towels. The thing is, you never really get used to being doubted. Not when you've spent your life being told you're out of place, that your success is an accident. That maybe, just maybe. You snuck in through a side door. It's an old ache, but it stings new every time. Still, I tried, God, I tried to keep my cool. Look, I've followed every rule. I pay every fee. I helped finance renovations on this deck last year. I just wanted to swim a few laps and read before dinner. Karen's pen tapped the clipboard, nails drumming impatience. You're making people uncomfortable. That's not the community we're building. A few people were standing now. Some, phones in hand, hoping for fireworks. I wanted to disappear, to melt into the blue water. Instead, I felt myself shrinking inside, wondering, do I even belong here? Did I miss some invisible memo about who's allowed to just be? Without an explanation, I pictured myself getting up, walking away, letting them win. Because maybe, just maybe, I was blowing this out of proportion. But then I saw Mrs. Garcia from 3 doors down. She'd never once said more than hello to me. But she was watching, frowning at Karen, looking back and forth like she was finally seeing what was happening. That was the crack in the wall. Robert Lane, the HOA president, made his entrance then, striding in with all the confidence of a man who's never been told no. Navy blazer over casual slacks. He had a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Is there an issue here?" he asked, gaze sliding over me like I was a parking violation. "Mr. Lane," Karen called, seizing the moment. "We have someone refusing to show ID or reservation. He claims he lives in the penthouse." Robert's chuckle was pure theater. "Friend, the only people I've seen in that penthouse are the Stanhopes and their guests. Are you visiting?" My patience snapped. "No, I'm Devin Carter. I own the penthouse. I moved in after the Stanhopes left for Boston. I have the closing docs if you want to see them." He sneered. "Do you know what the monthly dues are? The assessments? That's not the sort of thing you forget to pay." Karen, emboldened, pointed her phone at me, starting a live stream. "For the record, you're refusing to comply with community standards." The knot in my stomach twisted tighter. "You're really doing this?" I asked. But the crowd wanted a show. Max stepped closer. "If you can't verify your residency, I'll have to escort you out. We have to enforce the rules." I reached for my phone, slow and steady, not daring to move too fast. "Fine," I said. "Let's get someone from management down here, or I'll call my lawyer." Robert scoffed. "Lawyer? Over a pool day? If you're really who you say you are, prove it. Tell us. What do you do for a living?" I could feel the trap, my job, my status, as a password to respect. It made me sick. "CEO," I said. "Real estate. Carter Group." A sudden ripple swept the crowd. Karen's eyebrows shot up. Robert snorted. "Never heard of it. What's your annual income?" My voice dropped. "Enough to buy this building twice." He laughed. But there was a crack in it. The pressure built, suffocating. And I almost gave up. For a moment, I pictured myself getting up, walking out, apologizing for the inconvenience. Maybe it would be easier, less humiliating. But then Mrs. Garcia stepped forward, small, fierce, voice trembling but clear. "He's telling the truth. I saw the movers bring his piano up last year. He's my neighbor. He's never bothered anybody." It was like a pin to a balloon. The crowd faltered. Max hesitated, looking to Karen. She stammered, We have to check for security." I'd had enough. I pulled up the Orion app on my phone, flashed my digital ID, my face, my unit, my photo with the developer on move, in day. Then I called the building manager, put him on speaker. "Devin? Everything all right?" The manager's voice rang out, crystal clear. I let him tell the crowd what they should have known from the start, that not only did I own the penthouse, but I'd also donated last year to the kids' camp and organized the pool fundraiser. Suddenly, everyone looked anywhere but at me. Karen's hand shook. The live stream still running, her audience now watching her squirm. Robert's smug grin faded. Max stammered an apology, already backing away. But the real justice came fast. My phone buzzed. Board group chat blowing up with apologies, explanations, nervous jokes. Within minutes, the building manager was on site, voice stern as steel. Karen, Robert, Max, step inside, please, now. I overheard enough. Karen's committee status revoked. Robert, suspended from board duties pending review. Max, put on leave, pending retraining. Around me, the crowd thinned. No one spoke. Karen lingered the longest, shoulders hunched, face pale. Her phone pinged again and again. Notifications from the very people she'd once led, now calling for her resignation. Robert didn't look at me, just walked off, stiff. Pride shattered. Max disappeared without a word. Nobody clapped, nobody cheered. That's not how these things end. I sat back down, found my page, and let the silence wrap around me. A kind of victory that didn't need an audience. The air felt different, lighter, maybe, or just empty. That afternoon taught me something ugly and honest. People don't question the rules until the rules hurt someone they know. The truth is, you can pay every fee, follow every rule, and still have to prove you belong, over and over again. But you don't have to accept it. Sometimes all it takes is one voice, yours or a neighbor's, to turn a crowd into witnesses instead of participants. And that's the real difference, isn't it? J.R.